Welcome to Business and Policy Dialogue. I'm very excited about today's dialogue. And the reason for that is the person whom we have with us. To get you all excited about it, let me talk about two incidents that really stuck out after I moved back to India. The first incident happened when I was going to get medicines for my mom at 1 a.m. at night. This was a regular traffic junction and the lights were red. What impressed me was a truck driver who came in and stopped. Now, stopping at a red light may not sound unusual, but if he's doing it at 1 a.m., and that too in India, you start wondering, looks like real change has already happened. The second incident that I remember is more recent. It happened with a friend's wife. She had an accident with a car. The car did not stop, fled the accident scene and went away. The friend's wife was upset and wanted to go give a police complaint. My friend, like most other people like him, said, why bother? There's too much hassle. We don't know what they're going to do. Let's not go there. Well, you know how wives are. They ended up going to the police station. And when they went there, the experience was transformational. The person there was very polite, helped them resolve the problem by calling up the person, and was very empathetic to their case. Now, once you start hearing these incidents, you start saying, okay, it looks like there's real change happening on the ground. And the person whom we have with us today has played an important role in doing that transformation. Welcome to Shri Mahender Reddy, IPS, former Director General of Police, Telangana State. Welcome to ISB, sir.
Thank you, Professor. It's my pleasure. I deem it as a privilege to be part of this ISB initiative.
So let me start by asking you about the changes that you incorporated when you started. So the transformational change that you brought about was customer-centric policing. Right? So can you talk to us a little bit about what you mean by that, why it started, and the process as such?
Yeah, this is a long journey, but to summarize in a few words, when I joined the police, I realized that the police department, the police personnel work 24/7, 365 days, and as long as they're in service. But the feedback from the public has not been so good about police. They also don't get that pat on their back for what they have done, the kind of hard work. So I started working on, how to transform this organization into citizen-centric organization so that, with the same level of hard work, they're able to get better, appreciation from the community, which in turn reinforces their own efforts, and then they can work much more committed. So as a part of this initiative, long back, when I joined as the first commissioner of Cyberabad Police, as a founder, we had the industry, the ISB, all these institutions, the IT industry, they were all around. First, I tried to understand, how the police department can become citizen-centric, especially for the fact that the police is instituted by the society, they are paid for by the society, and they are the owners and they are the masters. And as far as enforcement is concerned, the law enforcement, we are expected to deal with less than 1% of the community who violate the law. But in the process of dealing with such people who violate the law, we cannot afford to treat everyone on par. Therefore, for the law-abiding citizens, we need to be citizen-friendly. We need to be responsive. We also need to give consistent and reliable service delivery so that, people appreciate that, yes, if we go to the police station, if we seek the police help, this is what they are going to get. That kind of expectation we wanted to set in. So this desire to bring that change also has emanated for me when I visited the United States, the United Kingdom, and other Western societies where the police is respected, and also the citizen can expect in each situation what kind of response he or she is going to get from the police department. The fact that we send our children, the girls go all alone, they get educated, they stay there, they join jobs, they lead their lives without anybody's help or support. As parents, we have been able to send because there is an institution which takes care of their security in every situation, every time there is a distress. So here also we wanted to replicate that kind of experience. That's how we have started the journey. And we worked on three basic concepts: the process, the technologies, and the people-related competencies, so that when they are merged together, we have been able to transform the organization in a way that people feel good, that they are proud to own this organization as a police department.
So let me ask you a little bit more, because you've summarized a lot of things you've done, and you've done a lot, into just a few words, right? So let's start with the process you're talking about, right? So the change you were talking about factored on people, process, and technology. So let's start with unwrapping that, right? So when you're saying people, what were the factors that you were talking about there?
Yeah, in fact, as far as the citizen is concerned, irrespective of the place, irrespective of the situation, they expect, they expect the police department to behave empathetically, respond soon, and also resolve the situation so that they are effective and the citizen feels safe and secure. To achieve this objective, we worked on first, the internal processes, the job descriptions for each of the roles. Then we have standardized them. Then we identified the key result areas. We also defined the key performance indicators. And this competency building for each of the police personnel who are assigned to these roles, that also has been done, keeping in view the processes and also the job content for each of the roles. Once this is done, we also try to look at the kind of technologies that are required for each role. So we designed the technologies, we developed them, we made it completely transformed into mobile-based technologies, so that most of the time the police personnel are on the foot, they are on the move, and therefore the technology should be available when they are on the field, right at the place where they are attending to the citizen grievances and resolving those issues. Right. So these technologies, the process improvements, and the relevant competency building, all this together, we have done it as a package. And we also brought in a kind of system approach for the entire service delivery, so that one state, one service, one experience for all citizens at all times, at all places, irrespective of the person who is approaching for help. He may be poor, he may be rich, he may be knowing someone in the police department, he may not be knowing anyone. Irrespective of that, we should be able to get a similar response as far as the citizen is concerned. Towards that goal, we have put a system in place, a matrix organization at the police station level. And these functional verticals, for example, if we are training the reception people, so the reception, the officers manning the receptions across the state in 800 police stations, they would get a similar training, similar soft skills, similar professional skills, the technology skills. And then when the citizen approaches any of the 800 police stations, the response has been similar. That's our goal, and we have done it like that.
And I think I want to highlight what you've been talking about, right? So this is essentially the functional vertical roles that you've established in police stations, because you see police stations as the key part of delivery mechanism that happens here. And so I think for people to understand, I think it will be helpful if you talked about what was there initially to what was changed, right? So just to paraphrase what you've been talking about, You've been talking about how initially it was activity based. And so depending on what people came in, they would be assigned the person available. Whereas now you're moved into a more functional role based stuff. And what does it take to get there?
Yeah, sure. I see. Initially, before this transformation happened, in fact, for that matter, most of the police stations across the country now, what happens is that it is all activity based. A call comes, then a person is assigned the task by the SHO. He goes, attends to that. He comes back. Next time, he won't get the similar task. He will get something else. So therefore, his job keeps continuously changing. So he doesn't get specialized in any of the activities. He doesn't stick to any of the processes. So the way he thinks that is the best. So each individual does his own job or her own job. But then since the continuity is not there, so the continual improvement does not happen in the way the processes are managed, the service is delivered, or the technologies are improved. So to ensure that whatever we do, it is system driven and process driven, what we thought was that, out of, say, Telangana police has 1 lakh police personnel. In this, 90,000 people may do good to the society. But 1 or 2 people here and there in each police station, any aberration, that gets highlighted, and the society feels that that is what our policy is all about. So therefore, we don't want even a single aberration to happen. If that has to happen, then we thought the best is to have a system-driven, a process-driven approach in each of the service delivery areas, so that everyone is expected to behave in a similar way, respond to the situations in a similar way, and also deliver the task in a similar way, so that the citizen feels confident that if this is the issue, this is the response I am going to get, and police is going to be empathetic. To add value to this, what we did was, for all these functional verticals, we have given the soft skills, identified the leadership skills that are required for each role, the soft skills that are required, and also the problem-solving skills. These are the 3 skills we have identified on the softer side other than the professional skills. So we trained each one of them in these things. In addition, we also trained them in technologies which are relevant for their roles. We also ensured that the professional part of it, what they are supposed to do vis-a-vis the offenders, how they should nab, how they should identify, how they should prevent crimes, detect crimes, they prevent public order situations. So these things as a package for each of these roles, we have done the initial documentation, then trained the people, build the technologies. We have established a center of excellence at the state level who take the feedback from the citizens who come in contact with police for each of these roles, aggregate the feedback, identify where the gaps are there in the current processes and technologies and people competencies, and then bring about continual improvement. So earlier, task-based or activity-based approach to process-based or system-based approach, and completely driven by standard processes, the technologies, and the KRAs and the KPIs, we are able to motivate the people because earlier, for any individual to get recognized, it is that individual who has to go around his senior officers and beg for rewards and recognitions. Now the system automatically identifies who are the best performers. They get picked up, they get awarded pathakams, they get the rewards. They also get the police person of the week, month, day, like this. So when they are recognized automatically, so people are motivated to do more and more. And citizen feedback also keeps helping, because every time a citizen gives a good feedback, that acts as a tonic for the police officer, and he gets motivated inherently, and then that is the innate motivation that drives him further.
No, this is just, for an academic, this is music to my ears, right? Because this is a very systematic, scientific way of incorporating change, and that too in a public sector government organization. So let me touch base on the challenging part, because now within a government setup, the incentives and the motivations are very different for individuals. So, can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you faced when you are trying to bring about change here?
Yes, there are several challenges in the sense that if we want the organization to be system driven and the process driven, first of all, we need to provide the adequate resources. So for each role, first we identified what are the resources that are required, the tools and technologies that are required, the capabilities that are required. So from the leadership and management side, we took care of all those requirements. For example, initially in the police stations, only the SHO and a couple of other officers, other roles used to have the workstations. Majority of the police personnel at the police station, they were waiting outside the police station. Only when the task arises, they are called and then assigned the task. Therefore, in the police station, there is no place for them to show to their own family members that, this is the place where I sit, what I do. So therefore, he doesn't have that self-esteem. So we initially, renovated all the police stations, broken all the walls, made them into open offices, and then gave workstations for the entire staff working at the police stations. That self-esteem, unless we respect our own constabulary, give them that self-esteem, we can't expect them to respect the society or the civilians in turn, and then give that value addition to the department. So therefore, we did internally that reform, whatever resources are required, whatever support systems are required. For example, the government of Telangana was very considerate, helpful, the Honorable Chief Minister. When we said that the police station, for running the day-to-day activities, we require budgets. So the Honorable Chief Minister was very kind and considerate, and immediately he sanctioned 75,000 rupees for each police station. And no questions are asked. It is kept at the disposal of the police station SHO, and then they would use it for efficient service delivery. Similarly, for any police to be effective, it is the mobility and the communication. These are the two things. So we did not have sufficient vehicles at the police stations. So the government at one time, they purchased 15,000 vehicles and then distributed across the state so that we have a state-of-art emergency response management system, adequate vehicles and resources at the police station level to respond to any situations so that the citizen feels confident. If there is an emergency, if the citizen feels that police have the capability to respond, and if they are in fact responding in each situation consistently, that is how the confidence of the citizen goes up, and then the sense of safety and security prevails in the communities. So initially, when we wanted to bring about this change, citizen-centric policing, where we coined it as people-friendly policing, just to get the approval of the community at large. When we said it's people-friendly policing, there was a lot of resistance internally from the police personnel, both the leadership and also the cutting-edge level police personnel, that if we are friendly, who is going to listen to us? Who is going to abide by the law? So all unsocial elements will take over. There will be lawlessness on the streets. But we, by experience, try to convey to the police personnel that 99% of the community are law-abiding. Therefore, we need to be citizen-friendly with them. 1% of the people who are deviating the law, we need to be hard-hitting. So we must be strict. We must use the deterrent laws, get them prosecuted, and get them convicted. So this process of convincing them, bringing about that mindset change, it has taken a lot of effort. Initially, we ran this culture change management program as an organized, institutionalized change management program for 4 years in Cyberabad Police. We touched each and every, not only police officers, but all the stakeholders to the policing. For example, even the political executive was skeptical that if police is friendly, then who is going to follow the law? That's what they used to say. So we brought on board all the sarpanches, mandal presidents, the members of the legislative assembly, the ministers, and explained to them this difference between the law-abiding citizen and also the law violator, and how the government will be able to get goodwill by practicing this citizen-friendly policing, in respect of the law-abiding citizens. That has really helped. But this change management also, we gave them some tools and techniques like implementation of 5S in all the police stations, implementation of the Kaizen tools for identifying the root causes for the problems and trying to eliminate the root causes so that the problem is solved once for all. In terms of the crime prevention, crime detection, even the reformation of the offenders. So we use these Kaizen tools very effectively. So when the police personnel were equipped to do this, then they try to understand that these tools work. In fact, the management concepts really work, provided they implement it with sincerity and also with focus. So we have been able to demonstrate that the modern management concepts shall work on the ground, provided we put them into practice on a consistent basis. So that change management program, which we ran for 4 years, that has helped us to gain a lot of insights, how to win over the members of the police force and also the members of the community and other stakeholders. In the subsequent places where we have implemented other than Cyberabad Police, it has taken much lesser time, and we were able to get through the people and then convince them and then ensure that these practices were implemented across the board.
This is just fascinating stuff. So one thing that is of interest to me particularly is technology and this intersection with management and everything else. And I think it goes back to my initial comment on how I think the Telangana police has been at the forefront of using technology as such, right? Like a lot of the apps and applications you have developed have won awards at multiple levels. I think there are 2 apps that I really liked in what has been generated. One is, of course, the one that is directed at the personnel itself for internal policing, where they can look at their services, leave requests and assignments and so on. The other thing that my wife hates, but I think is a really good one, is the e-challan concept, right? And so can you talk a little bit about, what is the motivation behind those and how technology has enabled this change as such as well?
Yeah, it's an amazing journey as far as the use of technology is concerned in police department. When I visited the United States, I see people following the due process of law, the general public at every place, without policemen being present. Obviously, police are not seen anywhere. So when I came back to India, after those study visits, UK, USA, and other places, I started thinking that why people follow the law there, why not here? I also saw that our Indian citizens who go abroad, when they are there, when they are living there, they follow all the norms. But the moment they land in the airport, from there onwards, they get used to the deviant practices like any other common public. So I try to correlate the same person when he's there, he is following the norm. When he or she comes here, she is violating. What is that which is lacking here? Then I understood that if we put a system in place, even our citizens are going to follow the norm. The people should realize that there is a system. People should be completely aware, and the system should be consistently applied across the citizens so that, that fairness and equality in application of law, if it is seen, then everybody would like to follow the norm. So towards that goal, way back 20 years before, when I was Cyberabad Police Commissioner, we started in a small way this e-challan. We designed it. We said we will not collect the fines on the spot. We will only identify using an image the violation, send home, and people will be expected to pay the fines and all. So though initially the response was limited, but then over a period of time, we have been able to get the confidence of the police personnel within the department and also the general public that the law is watching you, irrespective of whether policeman is there or not, and then they are expected to follow the norm. And in case they violate, automatically they will be caught. The certainty of being caught, certainty of being punished through a systemic process without any discrimination, it has really changed the mindset of the public. Today, majority of the people stop at the traffic junctions, irrespective of the fact whether there's policeman or not, as you rightly said, even at midnight. And people also feel confident that unless there is evidence, police is not going to send a challan to us. So because we have instituted such a system where the image is there, the timing is there, and there's a scope for verification, the video also can be verified at the back end. So that kind of transparency we have brought in. This is about e-challan. Initially we started in Cyberabad, then Hyderabad city, then rest of the state we have extended. Today we have speed enforcement, we have drunken drive enforcement, we also have traffic violation enforcement systems in place across the state, and like an ERP we have developed, and across the state they are used. But people have confidence in these systems because earlier it was very difficult for any influential person to be stopped and then challaned. Today the system doesn't look at who is he. So everybody gets a challan. The Director General of Police gets a challan. The common public gets a challan. The political executive gets a challan. So automatically they pay up, and then that's where we want. People follow, we expect the people to follow the norm. Our idea is not to collect the fines. So the more the public follow the norms, the more is the purpose served for us. This is about traffic e-challan enforcement. But more importantly, in the areas of crime prevention, crime detection, and also the public order management, we use the technologies extensively. We wanted to have video surveillance everywhere, the CCTV surveillance. So we brought about a law, Telangana State Public Safety Measures Enforcement Act, which mandates that every establishment shall put up cameras with 30-day storage of certain specifications as laid down in the law. And all the public spaces around the establishment will be covered. And the storage will be with the establishment only. Only on demand they are expected to give to the police if it is required in any crime. So this has helped us to get CCTV cameras across the city and across the state. Today we have more than 10 lakh CCTV cameras. All this has come with the involvement of the citizens, with the involvement of the public representatives and the government. So it's a joint effort, and it's a program which has exceedingly succeeded because the community found a value in that. By setting up cameras around their own establishment, the people felt that they become safe and secure. And in areas where the riots were taking place, the clashes were taking place every now and then, we assured the citizens that if your image is there in the CCTV, that you are at home, you have not gone out, you would not be implicated in the crime. And only whoever is seen in the CCTV footage, they will only get involved in the crimes, otherwise they are not. When we gave that assurance and implemented in practice, all the areas which were earlier susceptible for communal violence, the clashes, those communities have the largest density of CCTV cameras today, because the community felt that each CCTV camera can act as a safeguard for their own security, and they would be able to justify that they are not involved in the crime. So that we have empowered the communities to protect themselves against any misuse of authority by the police department, police personnel, in the course of discharge of duties or investigations. Similarly, we brought about all the technologies into one platform, the TS COP, Telangana State COP. This is an app. It is multiple apps brought together into one single sign-on, so that for any officer, based on the role, all the services are made available. Earlier, we have to get about the vehicle registration details, the ownership details. It used to take days together. Now, at the click of a button on the spot, in real time, we have been able to provide to our officers. Also, the entire database of the offenders, not only of Telangana state, but entire country, we have been able to integrate and then make it available to the officer on the spot, so that by the time he reaches the crime scene, we have been able to give him, based on the modus operandi, who are the likely people who would have committed this crime, and also his associates and his current doings, whether he is in jail, outside, all the associate history also we are able to provide. Now, this kind of technologies, our approach has always been that we must develop and deploy those technologies which are useful to the people at the cutting edge level. So all technologies, 99.99% of the technologies, we have designed from the point of view of the constabulary on the streets. So therefore, the ownership also came in quickly, and then they started using it because they were very beneficial and helpful. And that has helped us to promote the technologies in a big way in the police department. We have 1 lakh police personnel. So therefore, the human resource management, HR, all functions we have, digitized, and then there is an application. So they would be able to apply leave online, get the approvals online. They also are able to see all their leaves, the way they have utilized their leaves, their salaries, their payments, the pending issues, the grievance redressal, everything we made it online for the 1 lakh people. So we believe that if we take care of our police personnel internally, if they are not hassled by their own personal issues, they can focus on the people's problems, and then they can give better policing, better quality of service to the citizens. So therefore, we did these technology applications as force multipliers within the organization, outside the organization. For both the roles we have done, and I must say that the entire police personnel, they have owned up the technologies, and today we can't visualize a situation where without technology they would be able to function.
No, that is an amazing feat in itself, right? Adoption of technologies. One of the other striking features for me is the amount of stakeholder engagement you have incorporated in everything, right? Even about having the constabulary own up to the the app and using it, to also community-wide engagement, right? And one of the engagements that again I find very interesting and very path-breaking is the whole concept of Shri teams, right? So can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah. In fact, for policing to be successful, the number of police personnel can never be equal to the community. Police cannot be present everywhere. So therefore, there is a popular saying that the police are citizens with uniform and citizens are police without uniform. So therefore, it's a joint function, joint responsibility, like protecting individual houses. Individual family is expected to protect, safeguard their own residences, their own establishments. But then police will give an umbrella security. So with that objective in mind, we always believed that the community engagement would multiply our impact, multiply our strength, the capabilities. So therefore, community engagement has been part of this entire, change management and also improvement in the police department in Telangana. And as a part of that, just now I spoke about the CCTV project where we involve the people right up to the villages. Now today, every village has CCTV cameras. In every junction, every entry, exit, we have the cameras, and then cameras converging into the Gram Panchayat office where they are monitored by the staff there. So therefore, when we come to the women's safety, our society has 50% women. Now, if women are safe and secure, we always felt that, the society would progress and the economic development also will happen. That highest level of sense of safety and security can prevail. Towards that goal, the government of Telangana, especially the Honorable Chief Minister, initially when the state was formed in 2014, at the government level, a committee was constituted and various measures that need to be taken for women's safety were enunciated. As a part of that, we started the Shri teams. It's a very innovative scheme where again, the community engagement with the schools, colleges, institutions, communities, the resident welfare associations, name an organization it gets connected with. But these Shri teams, they operate incognito and they are embedded with technologies and they are available in public places so that whoever is harassing any woman in public place, so they get tracked and they get video recorded, and with evidence, we catch hold of them. Earlier also, this kind of teams we used to deploy, but it is not system driven. And we used to catch them, but people used to deny that they have done anything wrong. Whereas having captured this video, once we catch them, the person denies, but the moment we show the video, he admits that he has done something wrong. When we tell the parents will never accept without the evidence that their children are spoiled. So therefore, the parents getting convinced, the counseling by the parents, by the police department, and in serious cases, we taking action. The Shri teams have really given us good results, and we are able to give that sense of safety and security in the community 24/7, 365 days, because we brought about a bunch of technologies together to assist the woman's safety. As a part of that, for example, our dial 100 is connected to all the Shri teams, all the patrol cars. And similarly, if any woman is traveling in any public cab, even if there's a distress button in the cab app, the moment they press that SOS, we get a call in the police control room too. So everywhere these interlinkages have been established, and the Hawkeye as an app, that is also given for public interface with the police department. Once an SOS button is pressed in the Hawkeye, today we get notifications in the control room, at the local SHO, the divisional ACP, the DCP, and all of them respond at one time. So once that response is consistent and it happens every time, then the sense of safety and security enhances. So it's very heartening to note that the third-party surveys that we got done, so 85% of the women knows about the Shri teams today in Telangana. So that's a great achievement. And the more they are aware, the more they will be able to utilize their services. And the police department side also, they get more involved and then improve their services. That's how we have been able to work on the Shri teams. But we also established another institution. If a crime takes place, like any serious crimes against women, in the process of going through the criminal justice system, the woman gets re-victimized again and again. So to prevent that re-victimization, all services and under one umbrella we brought. That is the Bharosa centers we established in each of the districts. Now, anytime any victim of crime, if she approaches the Bharosa center, all the other stakeholders will come there and then do the processes relating to the investigation and complete it, so that they don't have to narrate their story again and again. And also they don't have to go and then depose in the courts. They can do it through video conferencing. They need not go to the hospital for getting the treatment. The doctor will come here and do the treatment. So several aspects, the counselors will be there. The skill building also happens. The victims of crime, for subsequent rehabilitation, the competency building takes place, and then they get rehabilitated. And these institutions, for the victims, they are connected on a long-term basis for the rest of the life, so that these victims, if there's any recurrence of any issue, they can always get back to the Shri teams and the Bharosa centers. This is a wonderful concept that has worked for us.
No, and I think it's brilliant. It's again path-breaking, and I think it was mentioned in a recent Supreme Court judgment as well on how this could be ways to address some of the issues that we have. One of the things which is critical for any kind of change management requires support. So can you talk about the support you've got from the government and the alignment of priorities that happen?
Yeah, especially when Telangana state was formed, there were a lot of apprehensions that if the state becomes small, the police force becomes small, the possibility of recurrence of the Naxal activity, the communal violence, and also the terrorist activity, also the law and order situations. So that was the apprehension in the civil society. So when the state was formed, the government was very particular, the Honorable Chief Minister and the government, that these apprehensions should not be allowed to become a reality. So therefore, the government decided that the law enforcement is a top priority for it in terms of the policy restructuring, the budgetary allocations, the resources being made available, and also the competency building, the technologies. So we were given free hand, in terms of creating appropriate infrastructure, the process and technology improvements, and aligning the police force with these objectives. So government truly believed that public order and peace is an essential prerequisite for development. That our Honorable Chief Minister used to tell us in every meeting. And if the public order is good, if the people feel safe and secure, if the industry feels that Hyderabad is safe and secure, Telangana state is safe and secure, we would be able to attract more global investments. So the investments in turn can lead to industries, employment generation, more businesses, and in result creating more wealth for the people here. So that wealth so created is utilized for the welfare of the people in the poorer and rural sector, and the overall development of the state was expected to happen. So with this goal, the government of Telangana has supported all out the police department in the last 9 years, and our budgetary allocations were multiplied. The resources, we recruited more than 40,000 people in the last 9 years, and also the training, the technology induction, and also the encouragement in terms of the new laws, new policies and programs. All that has been put in place. So the Honorable Chief Minister was always clear that policing must be the top class. We must be on par with any of the world-class policing systems. So that was a goal that was given to us. And he also deputed a team of police officers, including me. We all went abroad. We went to New York City Police, London Metropolitan Police, Washington DC Police. We have seen all the systems that they were using. We came back and implemented today systems which are much better because we don't have any legacy system. So we have been able to start afresh, and then we have the latest technologies being implemented in each place. So this has really helped, and government encouragement. For example, all the police stations we have renovated, we made them citizen friendly, employee friendly, and also they look like corporate offices. So that we were able to do it because the government has provided the resources. Similarly, the logistics that have been provided, the vehicles, as I was telling, in the last 9 years, we purchased 20,000 vehicles. And then we instituted this emergency response management system, world-class emergency response management system. And the police station logistics, the division level, district level logistics we have been able to give. So that has helped us to ensure that we did not have single communal incident, major communal incident in Hyderabad city in the last 9 years. It's a record because since 1947 onwards, every year there has been communal violence in Hyderabad city. But for 9 continuous years, not to have even a single major incident, that was a record. And that did not happen just like that. There was a government commitment towards that goal. The police department was committed. All the other government departments also aligned with this goal of the government. And we worked together and we achieved that goal. So therefore, the government's support, commitment for this kind of change management and modernization of the police force, and ultimately leading to the service delivery improvements, is an essential prerequisite. Once a government is willing to support, now it is for the police leadership to take advantage of it, visualize what are the needs for the community, and then how to improve the service delivery at the cutting edge level on a continuing basis. So that we need to plan and then take it forward. That's what happened in Telangana in the last 9 years. And I must say that majority of the credit goes to the government in supplementing all the resources that are additionally required for this change.
I think if I keep listening to you, we will go on for hours. But we do have to end this dialogue. So let me ask the final question. So what next?
These initiatives to sustain the technology, the process, and people-related initiatives, and the citizen-centric approaches. First of all, police department, the entire leadership should get committed to this, and they should truly believe in that the police department has a responsibility towards these 99% of the law-abiding citizens. the women at large in the communities, and ensure that the police vis-a-vis of the common and law-abiding citizens, we behave in a responsible way, and we deliver all the services in a citizen-centric manner, so that the citizen is able to appreciate, the empathetic response on behalf of the police personnel. Uh, Also, the management concepts, the theoretical constructs, if they are appropriately used and implemented, a police department is one area where it can really gain a lot of improvements, because from an activity-based approach to the system-based approach, a traditional method of working to the technology-driven, process-driven approach would make us really effective. It will reduce the workload for the police personnel. It would improve the self-esteem of the police personnel. For the community, they will have improved sense of safety and security. And they also look at the police department as a saviors, like, the day will come when we can call each police station as a temple of justice, because that is where every victim can take their solace. And that consistency and reliability in service delivery only will help us take forward. So therefore, I feel that, the police leadership, we need to get committed to these practices and then continuously reinforce. And the leadership vision should get communicated to the entire police force every now and then, including the core values and the core systems that are expected to be followed. So the leadership has a critical role to play. And then if the leadership is committed, I am very confident that these practices will continue to be implemented. They will get better and better, because there is a continuous improvement cycle using the citizen feedback and also the COEs at various levels that we have implemented. The command and control center that we have established at the state level, it is a convergence of all technologies, all processes, and also the convergence of various government departments. So to bring in that synergy and convergence among all the government departments, including the databases, data sharing, and the technology sharing, it would achieve that goal, that good governance, the goals of good governance. This institution will be a seat of, seat driving the governance across the state for all the departments. That's a vision with which we have built it. I'm very confident that that vision will be realized in due course.
Thank you, sir. This has been one of the most pleasurable dialogues I've had. So thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's a great opportunity for me to share. And I always feel, happy and delighted to come back to ISB, because when I was doing this change management program, I used to come and then interact with the students here and share with them how change management we are going about way back 20 years before. And whatever feedback I got from the ISB, we used to incorporate in their processes there, and that's how it has helped us. So, yeah. Thank you.